Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube video. My name is Gretchen and there is a lot to catch up on. So one thing is that I had another baby. He is 2 months old now, and that was one of the questions. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A about my pregnancy with him and how my labor went with him. So I don't have one with him now because I'm in Park City for my anniversary and I didn't have time to make the YouTube video with the kids in the sound, so I decided to do it while I'm here with no kids distracting me. So the first question I got asked was I induced? Yes, I was induced. I was induced with both of my kids because I got a thing called choleostasis, and I had it again. I had it with my first child, and then I got it again. So, and I guess I'm probably most likely going to get it every pregnancy, which I hope I don't. Okay. Second question was it harder than Sophia? So was my labor harder than Sophia's? That's a hard question because both labors were pretty rough, but at the same time, recovering after Thomas was so much easier than Sophia's. Sophia's labor was more of, she was head up. I had to get the epidural right there before starting contractions. And they had to flip her. I got sick. And yeah. And then Thomas, he was head down the whole time, which is good. I was happy about that. I wasn't able to go through contractions because I didn't get to feel them with Sophia, because I already had the epidural. So I actually got to feel them. So I don't know. It was kind of, I want to say it was both the same feeling, I guess. So number 3, was he late or was he early? He was 4 weeks early. Sophia was 3 weeks early. She was born at 37 weeks and Thomas was born at 36 weeks. The only reason why Thomas got induced at 36 weeks is because with my levels, my doctor basically told me that I was on the line to the point where I would have to get induced at 36 weeks or 37 weeks. So he kind of wanted to go off of how I felt or how I was feeling. And I kind of told him that I just can't sleep anymore. I'm constantly itching and I want it to be done. So that is why I got induced at 36 weeks, is because he just wanted to go off me instead of my levels, because it was like on the line where he couldn't like decide if he wanted to induce me at 36 or 37 weeks. What was in my hospital bag? Let's see. I think it's been so long. So I know for a fact I brought no, just kidding. I forgot to bring my toothbrush, but they let me have one at the hospital. That was one thing I forgot to pack in my bag. So I packed my charger. I bought my extra pillow, extra blanket. We bought John's Xbox so we could watch Netflix. I catched up on The Bachelorette and all my shows I was watching. What was another thing I brought? I brought some leggings, some comfy t-shirts, my normal underwear, but I'm pretty sure I just stayed in the mesh underwear that whole time. I bought socks, my sandals, and then Thomas's I brought 2 long sleeves, and then I brought him two PJs I think, and then I think that was it I brought from him, and I brought his own blanket. And then, what else did I pack in there? I think that was it, that all I packed. So I didn't really pack much. Sophia, I kind of went overboard and brought a little too much. So I packed smaller. Okay, so the next one is, how did we choose his name? So originally we were going to name him Lucas, but I decided to change it because I just felt like he wasn't going to come out looking like a Lucas to me. So I posted on Facebook asking for some opinions for boy names, and my uncle commented on my post of my grandfather's name on my dad's side, and he has 5 names in his name, and one of the 5 names was Thomas. and I really wanted to have a family name for both kids or any of my kids. Like Sophia is Sophia Riley. My brother on my mom's side, his middle name's Riley, and my grandpa's middle name was Riley too. So I decided to keep that for Sophia, so I have a family name on her, and then I decided to do Thomas on him because it just fit him perfectly, and I love him very much for that because I just wanted him to have a family name. Okay, number 6, did it hurt? So contractions, they kind of felt like period cramps to me, almost. Like there were a couple intense ones where I couldn't breathe through them, but for the most part, before I got my epidural, it was period cramps. I was able to talk through all of them. And then getting checked hurt without the epidural. Then popping my water hurt because I didn't have the epidural. And I think that's all I had because they broke my water at 11:30 and I got my epidural at 12 because I decided to get some sleep at that time, and that's where I wanted to get my epidural anyway because I wanted to make it all the way to midnight, and then 4 hours later I delivered him, or technically almost 5. How long was labor? Okay, so Sophia was 12 hours, I think, and Thomas's labor was 11 and a half, almost 12. So, but they're about the same time that they were at. I'm trying to figure out where were we trying? Yes and no. So John and I, when we were talking about Thomas having a second baby, we decided, you know what, let's try for 1 month. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then let's wait till after Sophia turns 1. Little did we know that first try in that 1 month would work. So yes and no, we kind of talked about it. So that was a pretty, I guess we were trying. How did we find out? So I found out super early. So I started getting symptoms of pregnancy very early. I was nauseous. I was very tired. I had a headache all the time. It was basically all the symptoms that I had with Sophia finding out. But the thing is that I didn't have enough, that HTC, I think that's the hormone, to find out if you're pregnant. I didn't have enough in me to find out, but I just knew I was. But on the pregnancy test, it always kept coming back negative. And so John was in Vegas 1 week, and I decided to go to my doctor and get a pregnancy test with them because I was like getting closer to my period. So I went in, basically told them what was going on. They did a pregnancy test on me. That came back negative too. So they basically told me if I'm still having this and I didn't get my period by this certain day to come back in and they'll retest. I was being very not wanting to wait. So I went into a different doctor and I basically told her everything that was going on, and I told her that they weren't coming back on pregnancy tests, so she just did a blood test. And I was able to find out by myself that night because I have this portable on my phone where I can see all my lab results, and I saw that, and it basically told me if you're higher than a 5 then you're pregnant, and mine was 53. So I was pregnant, so I just found out super early. Whose pregnancy or birth was easy? So labor for both of them was about the same. And I want to say pregnancy with them was the same too. The only thing that was different is that I got in a car accident at 30 weeks pregnant with Thomas and had to stay in the hospital 24 hours because I was having contractions. And that is one thing that my doctor talked to me about, me being induced at 36 weeks, because he decided to go off how I was feeling more than my lab results of how high they were. And he just basically told me, like, there is a chance you could be in the NICU. Like, are you okay with that? And John and I kind of told each other that if any of our kids had to be in the NICU, that we would be fine with it. And we kind of just thought he would have to be in the NICU. Because honestly, I thought he was going to be around 5 pounds. Yeah, no. He was 6 pounds, 9 ounces for a 36-week baby, being born a month early. So he was fine, didn't have to be in the NICU at all. So that is one thing that we had to talk about, and we were both fine with it, just because we knew I was in that car accident. So I want to say they were just both the same. Difference from Sophia and Thomas, basically the same. I found out I had choleostasis. Sophia, I found out I was 30 weeks pregnant when I found out about that. Thomas, I think he was 32-ish, maybe a little bit earlier. I can't remember. Whenever I went down to St. George, that is when I found out, and I think I was 32 weeks pregnant when I went down for my maternity pictures. So I think that might have been it. Thomas, I was in a car accident, but most of the time I just think they were the same. How old is he now? He is 2 months old now. He will be 3 months on the 29th, and it is August 12th right now. Are you thinking about having another one? Yes and no. Not right now for sure. No. John at this point is like not wanting to have another kid anymore. He's just kind of like, okay, we have one boy, one girl. We're done. Me, I'm just want one more. I know that for sure. And I want to have a surprise gender just because I already have one boy, one girl, and I just think that'd be really fun to go into labor and knowing that you don't know the gender, you going in and you go find out if you're having a boy or girl. But knowing me, if I do have another pregnancy, I would definitely want to go into labor on my own and not get induced, but knowing my health and knowing that I'll probably get what I had with both of them in my past pregnancies, I'm pretty sure I'll just get induced, but I'm hoping I'll just go into labor on my own. Was John there during birth? Yes, he was. He was there for both kids' births. And the second question, was he supportive? Yes, he was. He was very supportive with both pregnancies. He was there for me, asked if he needed anything. I also had a friend. All my family members were there for Sophia's birth and all through the labor. Thomas's, I wanted to be on my own with John and me. The only person that I had some friends that came up and said hi. I had a friend that brought me some clothes because we didn't have anything, because I threw a baby shower for Thomas and nobody showed up. And so we barely had anything, and my friend had some clothes from her baby and she gave me some. So she came and visited me. One of my best friends, Riley, she stayed from, I think she got there at 6, didn't leave till 12, so she was there till midnight. And she was there for me when I went through the epidural, and she hung out with me while John took a little bit of a nap from that 6 to 12. And John was up for the epidural, so I got that done. Is being a mom hard? Yes and no. Some days are really rough. There's some times when I was breastfeeding Thomas, Sophia would be like in my bubble wanting attention, which I understood. She just wanted to sit next to me, and I just let her sit next to me. But now that Thomas is having a bottle and we're trying to get her off the bottle, she is like, oh, well, Thomas is on the bottle, I get to be on the bottle too, kind of thing going on. And every time, like, she'll take the sippy cup just fine, but whenever she sees Thomas has the bottle, she is like basically wanting to just take the bottle away from him while he's eating. When I would be pumping, she'd be in my bubble trying to get my pump off, and so she's just always in the way. And sometimes I don't mind it, sometimes I'm just like, okay, you need to get out of my bubble. But I share love equally to both kids. And yeah, so that is my video. I wish Thomas was here so I could show you what he looks like. I'll do another video about him. So yeah, that is all for today. So don't forget to subscribe. Love you all, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.